Not you trying to be more American than the American.
Why are you faking your accent?
It's not even your country for real.
They so funny. They think if they play American enough, they will be
You're
American.
actually such a wannabe. Hi, wannabes, and welcome back to Wannabe Americana, your podcast for outsider by an outsider. I'm your host, Biani. Topic of the day is you're not going to the US to just study. That's not the purpose of going to the US. That's not the purpose of going to the US. Like, reality check, going to the US is all round development, not just academic development, not just spiritual development, not just mental development, all round development. Let's get into it. Final year, you guys, final year of college, I went out with my group members. We just finished a project. Our team leader took us out to celebrate, right? And one thing about me, I don't like to, I didn't really know these people for real. And I'm very, very like, I get nervous. Is that the right word? Because I feel like my nervousness equals like me talking too much. So basically, I get nervous, I talk too much, and then I want to like know about everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be like, so what do you do for fun? Like, do you party? Like, do you? So that's exactly what I did. We went to this bar, right? And then everyone was sitting down. It was so quiet. I'm like, nah, bro, like this, nah. So I started asking everyone. I was like, so what are you doing this weekend? And they were like, yeah, I'm just gonna build a computer. I'm just gonna build a server. And the person was like, yeah, he's gonna party because the other guy was in a fraternity, and the other girl was like, yeah, I'm just gonna play video games. And I'm like, huh. And I was like, so how often do y'all party? Because you know me, nosy B. I was like, how often do y'all party? And this one guy was like, yeah, like I don't really party. Like I don't really go out. And he was like, yeah, like I just don't have time. And I'm like, ain't no way. Final year, you don't have time? Crazy. So I really want to talk about this in this podcast because I'm like, that had me tweaking. Now, let me break it down for you, right? It's not just this American thing. Honestly, this school thing in general is not just book. Because you will lose your mind with book. Deadass. Okay, so here is the main purpose of going to the US. Let me break it. It's not necessarily to go back to school. To be honest with you, the purpose of going to America or going to wherever, because this is like for everyone, right? Purpose of going to these countries to like learn is to eventually work for these companies, to eventually get sponsorship from these people and to eventually be there. So, school, okay, school is for networking. School is for making friends, it's for partying. Like, bro, this is the age to be partying. This is the age to be outside every Tuesday. Okay, because when next will you be able to do stuff like this? Like, be honest. Like, when next will you be able to do stuff like this? Go out on a Tuesday. People be like, yeah, we have a party Thursday, come outside. We have a party Monday, come outside. And you'll be like, I can't because I got homework. Be so for real, please. Bye. Anywho, let me break down what school is. Like, for real, for real. Like, if you're going abroad and you are trying to, like, you're like, yeah, I need to, like, focus. I mean, see, this excludes people who want to be doctors, lawyers, nurses. I ain't trying to give you all bad advice. Please study your books, okay? But, like, if you do want to have a social life, let's get into it. And even people who are in computer science, because I was in computer networking and systems and that whole coding shit, like I was in there. Okay. So let's get into it. The purpose of going to an American school is to be able to do projects that you could add to your resume, and then you could put those projects in your resume and then give it to a company, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you did this in college? Oh my, hired. After that, we work, and then eventually get sponsorship for that company or get more experience to get a company that could actually sponsor us. That is what school is for. Boom, period, done. So all these books that you're reading, that you're trying to like kill yourself. And honestly, this is me giving advice to my younger self because we're like, I was literally about on the edge of just like passing out every single day because of what? School. And see, I get it. Like I'm not here talking now, but I get it. Because where I come from, right? The amount of money they are spending on your head, you cannot say, I don't want to study. I wanna go party. So we're going to get into like the discipline of school because yeah, I'm not encouraging you to fail school because the amount of money we're paying for school is ridiculous. Okay. But I do just want to like put that out there. Like the main purpose of school is not necessarily just academics. You travel across the oceans because you also want to experience the life that you saw on Disney Channel. Okay, it might not be all dance parties or whatever, but like that college experience, you're trying to experience it too. You're trying to get into it, and you can realize that after all this school, you're actually supposed to be a stripper. You're actually supposed to be a bartender. I please, this is me using very, very extreme examples, but let's get back into it. I do want to compare the Nigerian and the American system a quick minute because I did school for a year in Unilag before I ended up going to the US. But just like the huge comparison between the two, American colleges, they want to see you succeed. They want to see you, they want to see you flourish. Do you get what I'm saying? They want to see you prosper. Like if you have issues, like they'll be like, yeah, come to us. We'll help you out. We'll teach you this, da, da, da. Nigerian universities, Unilag especially, their main purpose in life is to frustrate your destiny. There's nothing else that they're doing besides frustrating your destiny. Like you can come and ask for help. They'll be like, why didn't you learn this in class? Why didn't you do this? Why don't you do that? That you're not serious, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, like Americans, like they encourage you to like ask questions. They encourage you to like come and get help. Like you even doing that makes you even more like this student. She looks like she wants to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Like she and they'll remember your name. You know, when you're like, oh, I got a B and I want to like, is it possible? Can I get extra credit? And they'll be like, yes, I've been seeing you, you've been putting in effort. Come forward, we'll help you out. Get it, get it. So like that's one thing I wanted to point out, like the big difference between the two of them. Like if your country is like that, hopefully it is not. But if it is, like just know that that's what the American college system is like. They welcome curiosity a lot. Like they're very encouraging of it. Now, getting into classes and like picking classes and everything. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, when I was coming here, when I came here, my dad was like, Bianim Isibor. So I started school late, right? And like Nigerians are very, very, we like to compare each other a lot. Somebody's moving forward in life, like you're still here, you're still wasting time. So I think I was like 2 years behind. So people I graduated high school with were probably in their second year of college, right? And I was just getting in. So my dad was like, see, Bianni, you have to finish this course in 3 years. Like, this. You have to take as many classes as you can, be done with 3 years so you can meet up with your peers. Meet up with your peers. And I was like, yes, dad, yes. Me too. Of course you are. I was like, yes, dad, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm very like, somebody gingers me the right way. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. Right? So, first year, I was doing like 5 classes, 6 classes, no stress, no nothing. I was like, yeah. Third year, no, second year, second semester, I did 4 classes. I didn't even do 5, I did 4 classes. And when I tell you I nearly lost it, I was doing like 3 coding classes and then one random class where they had like 50 assignments due in 1 week. And I'm like, I'm barely keeping up with the coding classes, right? And then I have this as like this one class, and it be 1 credit classes or 1 credit, 2 credit classes where it'd be like, let me just add this one and just, let me just have something there, just to, let me just take this gen ed class. And they'd be popping up with like 60 assignments 1 week. Like, why are we learning so much about the ethics of engineering? Why am I seeing like 500 assignments on the ethics of engineering? Come on. What are we talking about? How many ethical things can we talk about in engineering, please? So like also keep that in mind, like 1 credit, 2 credit classes, they be going crazy with the assignments. I don't get it. Like I really don't understand that. But coming down to like picking classes and like, figuring out what classes you need to take, but credit courses or whatever, you need to be super practical with that. Let me start off with your first year. Like, let me fill you in on a tip. Now, there are schools where you could do like a couple of tests or exams where you could skip a bunch of gen ed where you could skip a bunch of gen ed classes that you don't necessarily need to take. I found out about that in my final year. But let me tell you guys now, if your school has tests that you can take where you can skip a bunch of English classes, where you can skip a bunch of math classes, find out, check, and see, take those exams because that would save you so much money. Because why was I paying like $3,000 per credit for English class that was 3 credits? Do you get what I'm saying? So like, if you could find those tests that you could take and then you could skip those classes, please do that for like 100%. Now, besides that, first and second year, you should be taking all of your gen ed classes, like finish everything because third and fourth year, like doing gen ed classes when real shit is hitting you is just like, what are we doing? Okay. So that's one thing I'm going to say. Now, picking 3 credit, 4 credit courses, you can't just pick random classes, right? 3 credit, 4 credit courses have a higher impact on your GPA. So if you fail those courses, your GPA is going to drop significantly, right? So be real with yourself, dude. Like for real, if you can only do one coding class that semester, do only one coding class that semester so that you can guarantee an A minus, A plus to B minus. Like you can guarantee that score in that course, right? Then you can do like a 3 credit course and kind of like also like go through the curriculum and kind of see what they're giving, like what they're putting out. And then you be honest with yourself and see, can I actually take this on? If I can't take this on this semester, cool, I'll do another semester, right? 1 to 2 credit courses, ladies and gentlemen, 1 to 2 credit courses. Be very, very skeptical about those classes. Like look at everything and like see the amount of work they're putting in. There's some 1 to 2 credit courses where it's not like it's not too much going on, right? And I feel like 1 to 2 credit courses, you can usually do those during the summer when you have more time to like just like do a bunch of homework. You get what I'm saying? But like adding those 1 to 2 courses, if you do like 2 1 to 2 courses where they're giving you like 50 assignments to do every week, and you have a 4 credit course, and you also have a 3 credit, please, please. So like maybe 1 or 2 at the most, but like focus on your heavier courses and kind of like balance it out and make sure you can keep up with everything. Okay. So that's what I advise for that. Taking 5 to 6 classes doesn't make you cool. It equals zero life, zero social life. Okay. I tried that shit in my life. I would not recommend that to my worst enemy. Okay. It's never that serious. There is so much more to this school thing, dude. You need to join clubs, meet people, connect. Because at the end of the day, getting out of school, you can get, bro, speaking from experience, dude. You finish school, you spend your whole time studying, you get out of school and you're still jobless. And you were taking 6 courses and killing yourself. And you're still jobless. So like college is about making those connections, joining, going to programs, meeting people, forming community. There's too much for you to be losing out, freaking studying day in, day out. Okay? One of my friends used to use this. I had like a couple of friends who used to use it a lot, but rate my professor. People say rate my professor, like, yeah, like before I take a class, I have to use rate my professor to see if I can like cope with the professor. Right? Rate my professor is like movie reviews. Everybody has something to say about the movie, but you have to test it out for yourself to see if you actually like it or not. Right? And when it comes like what I've come to realize, like you have to understand your learning style, right? You can have a particular learning style, which is, you are a better listener. You have to do a bunch of practice questions to understand something, or you could just literally listen in class and you're good to go, or you have to go back and study multiple times, do multiple past questions, do everything, da, 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 right? For you to understand something. And then the professor could also have a specific teaching style, right? So if the professor's teaching style and your learning style don't match, obviously there's going to be a problem in that class for you. Unless you and the professor could come to a compromise where you would have like personal training from the professor, which means you're going to office hours daily to like learn more from him, and you're also working on your part, because at the end of the day, college is all you, babes. Nobody is coming to tell you, oh, come to my office. It's all you. You are the one who has to decide everything, right? So that's why I personally didn't use rate my professor, because you're only seeing what people are seeing from their point of view with their learning style. I would say you could use rate my professor to kind of see the professor's learning style or teaching style to kind of like figure out what he's saying. Like there could be like reviews where it's like, oh, he always does a bunch of quizzes, or he's very, very straightforward, or he doesn't like when people ask them questions, or like he doesn't like when you just like speak without permission. Like I had a professor in college where at first I thought it was being mean to me, but the truth is he's a very strict professor, and I ended up loving him at the end of the day. But he's very strict. Like he wants you to go and do the work first, and then come back, and he will meet you where you're at in terms of what work you've done, right? And back then, my learning style was do it for me and I'll learn from you, right? So like I had to come to a compromise where it's like I have to go and do the work, get to that point of where I don't understand anymore, and then go meet him and he could help me out more. You get what I'm saying? So like I personally don't recommend rate my professor, because you have to test out for yourself and then kind of decide for yourself. And when you decide, you can decide to drop the class or continue moving on with the class or push yourself. But like you saying just because one person says they don't like a professor, you're not going to that professor because they don't like the professor, crap, in my opinion. Um, you need to test out for yourself and see it for yourself. That's what I could advise. Anyways, My secret to having a life as an international student. Okay, so I went to school to do computer networking and systems, and I personally thought that was where I was. Actually, no, I didn't think that was where I was going to be. My parents picked the course for me because of my skills when I was younger, and they thought that was going to work out for me. It necessarily hasn't worked, and here I am filming a podcast for y'all. But I did survive. I was able to cope, and I was able to like finish school with good grades. And I only failed school once. Like I only failed a course once. But I would go to class, right? People would be having conversations on what they did that weekend. And they would be talking about, yeah, I built a server. I built this one program. I started this, I started that. And I'm here. They asked me, what did you do this weekend? And I would be like, yeah, I went to like four parties. There was like four, there was two frat parties and there was like, these two parties. And then I went to like a girls' night with my other friends and they were looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm looking at them like they're crazy because I cannot believe you spent the whole weekend building a freaking, what did you call it? A server? Like, please. Okay, so maybe I'm giving you guys bad advice because I don't think I've ever taken school that seriously. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't think school is ever that serious that you're building servers. Okay, but go crazy, do your own thing. Okay. But my personal secret to like having a life is honestly having a very disciplined schedule. Like, you don't need to study the whole day. Let me tell you that right now. You can have like 4 to 5 hours where you're like deep studying and where you're like figuring, you're getting all your homework done. You are catching up on classes. You're attending office hours. You're doing everything you need to do. So you have that free time. And when I say discipline, dude, like there's no, oh, let me take a quick break and watch a movie real quick. No, not during those 4 to 5 hours. You can increase the hours based on what works for you, or you can reduce those hours. So what I did was I broke the hours down into like brackets or spaces or blocks because I have a hard time studying for long periods of time. So I have to break it down in enough spaces so that I have something to look forward to. So like, I'd be like, okay, I study for 2 hours and I probably go watch a show. I study for 2 hours and I go and hang out with my friends for like 3 hours or 4 hours, or I do this for an hour and I go like do something else, right? So I had something to look forward to, right? So during that time, I was like catching up on homework. I was studying. I would like chat with my friends. We'd sit down and like do a study group together and discuss the assignments or the homeworks I have, or reach out to professors or reach out to my friends who know stuff more than me, right? So that's like honestly the secret to having a life as an international student in college. Okay. So next thing I would say is feeling intimidated in classes. And honestly, this took me out. This is one of the reasons why I failed one of my classes in college because I felt so intimidated. Like when you first come to school, like at least for me, now I there was a lot of things against me. God forbid, nothing's against me, just as me. But I was the only at that time when I entered into like my real classes, I was the only black female person in my class. I think a couple of semesters later, another girl joined me, but it was just like two of us. But like for the first couple of times, it was just me, right? And now in this class, when like people don't need to say stuff to you, like they just look at you and you're like, "Ugh, girl, like I just have like such a dumb question. Let me just be quiet for now." And then one of the smart people would ask like a really cool question. I'm like, how did you even think about that, dude? Like that even crossed my mind. Like I would literally just like when they ask the question, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like how did your brain even extend that far to even think about that? You know? And I tell you, like that messed me up so bad. Like I kept quiet too many times and then I failed this class and I was just like in the gutter, right? And I was like, how did I even get to this point? Mind you, I had never failed a class. Like my lowest at this time was like a B minus. Like that was what I was getting. And I went and I failed this class and I was just like, I had to sit down and reflect like, why did I fail this class? I stopped asking questions. I thought I could do everything. I had no friends in class. I wasn't asking anyone because I thought that everyone thought I was dumb. Everyone thought that I didn't know shit. Like I always asked like the stupidest questions. So I stopped asking questions. I was like, I could do it on my own. And I would fail a class. I would fail the test and I wouldn't go and meet the professor and ask for help. Like, duh, of course you're going to fail the class if you're not asking for help. If you're feeling intimidated by these people, like, duh. Like, and you see, I failed that class. I was like, I entered this depression because I was like, like my biggest thing is like, I don't want to disappoint my family. Like, they've just wasted money. I failed that class. That money was wasted. I have to ask them for that money again. Like that was all that was in my head. Like I failed that class and now I wasted my parents' money and it's just like I'm a failure. I'm this. And I thank my parents so much because they were just like, it's okay. I was out here having a mental breakdown and my parents was like, Biani, it's okay. Like calm down. It's okay. Like you're going to be fine. You're going to take the class again and you're going to be fine. And like I don't even feel like my parents understand how much I needed to hear that because I was in such a rut. I just couldn't believe that I disappointed them again. Like my nigga, really? So I was so grateful to hear that from them. And then once I had that confirmation that I was okay, like they were okay, I was okay. You get what I'm saying? So I went back, I went to reflect on like where did I go wrong? What happened? Not that I failed the class. I got like a D plus. I needed a C minus to like move forward with the class. And I went to meet the professor and he was like, yeah, no, there's nothing we could do. And I get it because like obviously he didn't want me moving forward with the class because the next class was gonna be harder. And if I barely made it, I was not gonna make it in the next class. So I completely understood that. So I came back and I was like, you know what, Yanni, like there's no shame. You're going to ask as many questions as you want to ask. Even if you piss people off, you don't care because they're not paying your tuition. And if they think you're annoying, then they should have gone to another class. They could elevate, they could move up. Okay, you're going to understand this stuff and you're going to make sure that you get it. You're going to be present. You're going to be known. Okay, everyone's going to know you. If everybody knows you as, oh my gosh, the girl who asked 20 dumb questions, so be it. Better to be that girl than to be the girl who failed again. So please. And he's like, and the truth is like, bro, you're paying so much money. You are paying more money than the people who are probably there. So you 100% deserve to be there. If you need to ask questions, ask those questions. Don't let anybody stares. Like, bro, when I was in class, I would be blind. Anyone who wanted to give me stares, that's your business. The only person I was focused on was the professor and the board. I wasn't focused on anybody else. If you had anything to say it to my face. And if you can't, be quiet. Like, obviously you're not talking to me because I need to get this. And then next thing I did, I started forming like I went to like become buddies with the smartest guy in the class. Bless his heart because he was so sweet. He was always super helpful. And then me and my girl, like we became study buddies. Like I'd be like, girl, like let's figure this thing out together. Like literally, I became the head of the study group. Like not necessarily the head, but like I was like, oh, let's study this thing together. Let's do this together. So like no information is missed. Okay, all the information is passing and is going through my ears as well because I'm in that loop. Like you don't understand like how valuable it is to be like in the middle. Like let's say there's a group, right? To be in the middle of that loop, so all the information is passing through you, so you're hearing every single thing. My friend, the girl that I used to hang out with, she was like the middle person. So like everything she heard and like all the guys liked her, all the guys used to talk to her, she used to chat with them. Like she spoke their language. She used to play Dungeons and Dragons and like all the other games that they used to be talking about in class that I couldn't relate to. So and I made friends with her because like, we the only girls there. So like boom, boom, boom. And then she would tell me like, oh my gosh, they said this, they said that. I'd be like, okay, bro, like this. Like every information was like coming to me. So like nothing was being missed. I tried to make friends with guys. I was like, like a little chat here and there. Like if they're talking about like sports or something, I'd be like, oh my gosh, they scored a goal. I ain't watch no sports, but like I'm gonna interact and like make myself known too. You know what I'm saying? I was just like trying to like be buddy buddy with everybody. So like I was in that clique, like nothing was missed. Like when I went to go meet the guys to ask for help, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you just did this, you just did this, da da da." Well, this is how I did mine. Oh, this is how I did that. Like everybody was helping each other because we're not like a huge class, so we're like all helping each other to like succeed. So like that was how I passed that class with like a B minus, a B plus. Oh, bro, I almost got an A minus, but it's okay, it's whatever. And then the professor actually saw me like I think he even told me that he got some respect for me because like I would always come back. Like anytime I had a test and I failed a question, I would always go back to him. I'm like, sir, like I failed this question. Like, how could I have done it better? Like, what could I have done? What equation did I miss? Da, da, da. And he was like, oh, okay. And he'd be happy to help me. When we had lab, I learned his teaching style and I went with it. Like, he didn't like when people interrupted him in class or when he was saying something you interrupted or when you were in his time, like you're like invading his space and like asking for, like he'd be working on something and then if you came to invade his space, he'd be like, and then I used to think, oh, maybe he didn't like me. So like I'll just be like, sir, do you mind helping me with this when you're done with what you're doing? And he'd be like, okay. Before I would just be like, okay, help me with this and be like, go, 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 go. And I think that he had a vendetta against me. And then once I realized that, I was like, okay, like I understand him now. He kind of understands me. So we can we have like our meeting plan and everything. So I just went with his flow. Okay. And it helped me in the long run. And then he ended up being one of my best professors in college because he was really the major professor who kind of like really pushed me to my breaking point. Literally, like he pushed me to my breaking point, and I would forever thank him and appreciate him for that because like I was really just taking it slow when I was in college. Like I told you I don't really care about this school thing. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely like pushed me to like keep it pushing and just like never give up. right? Now, here's the trick to doing well. So I graduated college with a 3.2. Mind you, as I've continuously said on this podcast, I don't do school. Okay, like I've never been someone who is like, oh my gosh, like we're going to school. Oh my god. Like I was never the kid who was like, yeah, like when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a freaking lawyer. I want to be an engineer. I just grew up. I want to be I wanted to be a mermaid for the longest time, girl. I blamed on Ariel, but I just knew that when I grew up, I just wanted to be comfortable. I just wanted to like do me. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I still had to do well in school because like my parents did not pay all that money for me to just like do me. You know. So here was my trick. So first half of the semester, and this works. Okay, like this is tried, tested, and approved. So first half of the semester, I put all my work in. Okay, so when we get to like midterms and like mid semester, I have like lowest I had was like a B plus, B minus, lowest. Okay, so everything was A minus. It was either A minus, B minus, right? Because I realized like my second half of the semester, I would usually start to slack, and it's like I started getting tired of school. It's like I was ready to be done, so I wasn't putting in as much effort. And then I would start getting like C's, right? So like B minuses, C's, or maybe like an A here or there, right? But if you put all your effort in beginning of the semester, right? Ending of the semester, even if you start to slack a little bit, no matter what happens, you would probably end at a C plus, B minus. And if you put, if the class was easy, whatever, you'd probably get like lowest and A minus, right? And try to true test it. Like I did that whenever I ended college, like whenever I ended my first semester with a B minus C plus, girl, it's praying and fasting and a whole lot of stress just to like make it back up there. And like whenever you end like your first semester with like those kind of scores, like it's really, really difficult for you to bring it back up, meaning you are putting so much time to bring that score back up, meaning you have no life, meaning you cannot go out and do other things that you're meant to be doing with your American experience. And you don't want to do that. So like just like keep that in mind. First half of the semester, put in all your work, do everything you need to do. Don't miss an assignment, don't miss attendance, put everything into that thing. Second half of the semester, you could slack a little bit. But if your class requires attendance, please go, because those teachers, those professors will not be playing when they say attendance is necessary and required. Okay? Or like the teachers will say, oh, attendance is not necessary if you call in, cool. But make sure you have somebody in class who could take notes for you, because like why would you miss class and not have anybody take notes for you? Like, come on now. Like get a friend who could record class for you so you can listen on your own time and like do your own thing. Da, 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 because like that's definitely going to help you, and you don't want to miss class. You please don't miss class. You can only miss class if you're like super super smart, or you can read on your own and understand, or if your learning style doesn't necessarily require audio learning. But don't miss class, because they also do be doing like surprise pop quizzes out of the blue that they actually do put into your course, and you don't want to miss that. Like my professor, like he would wake up in the morning, every morning we had a quiz. So like if you miss class, you're late to class, you miss a quiz. And those quizzes were like 10% of your grade. And 10% might not look like much, but by the time you accumulate everything, it's actually a lot in your whole grade. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Okay. So next thing is maintaining a high GPA. I'm going to just tell you guys how I maintain my high GPA, right? So first year, second year, blasting classes. Nigga, I was on a 3.8 upwards. Living life, I was on Dean's list. I accepted into honors list. I didn't go through with it because I didn't want the pressure of being an honor student. That was just too much for me. I was really just trying to do school and get done with school. But did that, right? So my third and fourth year, I struggled a lot with classes. That was when I failed a class. It was just like too much hitting me at once. And then I ended up taking a minor as well. So it was just like I had just so much going on. My grades started to slip. They didn't slip like let me tell you, when I say slip, I say getting like C's. Okay, like so I'm not talking D's, F's, just like C's, right? But and C's do bring down your grade. But coming from a 3.8, so every semester like I would go down, right? You have like a huge gap to go from 3.8 to 3.28, right? So I had built it up so high that no matter where I landed, I was never going to go below a 3.0. As long as I never missed a class, and as long as I never failed another class, I was always going to be in that like range of like 3.0 and upwards. So like that's my best advice for maintaining a high GPA. Make sure your first and second year where you're doing all your gen ed classes and all that good stuff, you are getting a very high GPA. If you need to retake that class to make sure you hit that GPA, do so, because it's only going to get harder from there. That's the honest truth. It's only going to get harder from there. And you do not want to be struggling to bring up a 2 point something GPA. Like that is honestly the gutter. You're not trying to do that. You shouldn't be trying to do that. So just follow that step and you should be good. Now, the biggest thing with the American experience is you're trying to develop all aspects of your life, right? Not just the academic, you're trying to develop the academic, the spiritual, the party side. You're trying to like see new things. I mean, you could have just gone to school in your home country. Like, what's the big deal? I mean, for me, I couldn't have. But if you're just going to do school, you should have just gone to school in your home country. You decided to come out here and do school here, and then all you're doing is studying. Be so for real right now. Like, we need to do parties, baby, parties, clubs, networking events. Okay. Another thing I meant to say is, and I don't know if I've spoken about this already or not, but the school you go to also has a huge impact on like where things are going to fall, right? So I would recommend that you try to go to a target school where companies are actively coming to hire students, right? And where when you're done with school, you can actually get a job. You can get those connections, you can get a job, you can, get an internship. I made that mistake. I was just like school, 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 school. And then school finished and then joblessness. I couldn't get a job because I didn't build those connections. I didn't build that network. I didn't join any clubs. I didn't, put myself out there, make friends who could actually take me places. I didn't build that rapport with professors that they could, put themselves out there to like help me get something. You know what I'm saying? So definitely big, big, big one. Join clubs, right? Go to networking events. Make sure that your school has companies or whatever dream company you want to work at. Make sure your school has those connections to get you to those places, if you get what I mean. That's like big thing about like academics and everything. But besides that, please go to parties, try out weed, try out liquor, try everything. Like see. Okay. So I'm not gonna encourage bad behavior, right? But everything in moderation. For real, everything in moderation. Try it out. If you like, you like. If you don't, you don't. You never have to try it again. Don't tell your parents I said this though, please. I know we should share this with my mother and my father because I've done every single one. And I know what I like. I know what I don't like. Like now I no longer drink liquor anymore. I don't do shots, like I don't smoke, I don't. But like I did it. Been there, done that. And now I know I don't like it. You get what I'm saying? Please, please. I'm being serious. Don't tell your parents this. This is just between us. Okay. But try it out. See what you like, see what you don't like. Like, don't be like, no, I don't go to parties. Girl, please. Go to parties now because not you like see, people who be like, yeah, I don't go to parties. It's funny to me because it's like, if you don't go to parties now, when will you go to parties? Are you never gonna go to parties? Like for me now, like I've been to so many parties that like partying now is very overstimulating for me. Like there's just too much happening at once that I can't keep up. But like I've experienced parties and I know that I don't like it anymore like that. Like I will go to a party like if I'm with my friends and like, but like I've been there, done that. So you don't want to be like 40, 60, 50 trying to relive your high school college days because you were like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to. And now you're trying to relive it at 40, 50, 60. Come on now. Just gonna play those games. But yeah, like definitely try out everything, see everything, enjoy the experience. Like it's an experience. Just don't do nothing illegal. Okay? Obey the law. That's all I'm gonna say. Obey the law, do what you're supposed to do. You have that freedom now. But like with that freedom, you also have to be like super smart. Like you cannot just be doing shit just to do shit. Like yes, college is doing shit for the plot. Okay, the American experience is doing everything for the plot. But like with the plot, like people are still evil. Forget that yes, so America is like vibes, like all of this. People are evil and they prey on people who don't have common sense. The purpose is to have common sense, like everything with smartness. You know what I'm saying? So just be very, very, be very disciplined, be very practical, live life, enjoy life, tap into every aspect of your life, network. Join clubs, build rapport with people. Don't be too cool. Don't be too shy. Build rapport, get to know people, be open to getting to know people, accept people for their differences. Because if you don't, you will be friendless and lonely. Okay? So be very open to that and just live life. Don't let this school thing delete you from existence. Please, if you want to take care of your mental health, please party. Go out, party, come back to real life. You know what I'm saying? Balance. Alrighty, wannabes, we did talk about a lot in this episode, and I really do hope that you guys had your favorite bits from the episode. please leave them down in the review or leave them down in our comment because we might also be talking about them on our IG. So make sure you follow us on IG. I want to be Americana. And who knows, we might give you a shout out in the next episode. Okay. All right. Also, if you do want to share your stories, please send us an email or send us a DM at hi I wanna be Americana.com, or of course DM us on IG at wannabeamericana.com. If you do follow us on IG, we do have our BTS as well as just a little tidbits here and there of different things that are going on, expressions that we have, what we're feeling in that day, all of that good stuff. But yeah, that wraps it up, babies. Talk to you soon, wannabes. Bye.